It's the fall of 1991 in Gloucester, Massachusetts. A terrible storm hits the town and Christina Cotter wakes up in the middle of the night from a nightmare she saw about her boyfriend Bobby being in danger. The next morning, she excitedly gets ready and runs to the port because the ship that Bobby works on has returned. She immediately jumps into his arms like all the other ship workers reuniting with their loved ones. Linda and Billy report to their bosses who send them on the fishing trip in the first place. Linda is praised for her performance even though one of her crew members died on board, whereas Billy is criticized for his low catch. It's been a while since Billy has been able to catch a lot of fish, but he doesn't seem too bothered about it. The workers get their pay and Billy isn't satisfied with the money he made despite all the efforts he put in. One of Billy's workers makes an excuse because he's not confident to score a lot of cash with Billy as his captain. The boss taunts Billy to track Linda next time so that he can be led to where all the fish is. Billy considers going beyond the Great Banks in pursuit of more fish to shut everyone up for good. On his way to the bar, Billy runs into his worker Marv waiting on his ex and son because they didn't show up to meet him at the port earlier. Another worker, Bugs, is trying to impress the ladies in the bar but miserably failing to do so while Bobby is busy making out with Christina. Marv meets his ex Deborah and offers to buy her a drink, but she declines. Marv takes his son into the bar called the Crow's Nest where everyone is having a good time while Billy is on the phone, calling an old worker Sully to join the crew in replacement of the man who quit. He gathers his crew and informs them that their ship Andrea Gill is leaving again in 2 days to avail the last shot this season. He promises to make them all a lot of money. The next morning, Andrea Gill is preparing for another journey because Billy loves being a captain and wants to be good at it again. Sully is reluctant about working with Murphy because they have a bad history, but he takes up the job anyway because he's desperate for work. This is a risky choice, seeing that Murphy and Sully almost get into a bar fight. Before the boys leave, Bobby's home instructs him to be careful because the Grand Banks are no joke in October. Christina hides a note in Bobby's bag and begs him to stay one last time, but to no use. Irene comes to the port unexpectedly to see off Bugsy and insinuate that she will wait for him to come back. Andrea Gale begins his journey and Bobby finds the letter Christina left him. She got an apartment for them that she will be decorating in time for his return as a sign of her commitment to him. Billy mentions to Bobby that his ex Jody lives in Florida with his 2 kids, but he feels more at home when he's on a ship. Billy orders his men to start fishing when they get to Grand Banks. Murphy and Sully get into another fight because Sully boasts about having slept with Deborah and the boys have to break them up. The crew is able to catch a lot of fish, but when they don't know that a tropical storm has hit their surrounding areas which could possibly turn into a hurricane too. Meanwhile, Billy isn't satisfied with their performance. They catch a huge shark, but it also bites Bobby in the leg. The boys start to lose their faith in Billy's ability, which puts even more pressure on him and he loses his temper in front of Bobby. Later that night, Murphy gets in an accident and falls into the sea, so Bobby and Sully jump in and barely manage to save his life. This somewhat fixes the relationship between Murphy and Sully, who had been at each other's throats previously. After a rogue wave hits the ship, the boys get a bad feeling and insist on going home, but Billy decides against it and goes even further into the sea in search of more fish. He gets a chance to communicate with Linda, who warns him against going so deep into the sea in spite of the incoming weather, but he assures her that he knows what he's doing. The boys finally make it to an island called the Flemish Cap where they catch all the fish that Billy promised them. When the ice machine on Andrea Gill stops working, Billy decides to finally head home and informs his crew of the hurricane they will have to survive on their way back. They don't want to wait it out in case the fish spoil, so they decide to ride the storm out, not knowing how terrible it is. Linda finds out that multiple hurricanes are colliding into each other, creating a perfect storm that no one can survive. She tries to stop Billy, but Andrea Gill's antenna has already flown off, so all communication is cut off. Linda relays a mayday on Andrea Gill's behalf, so a rescue team heads their way knowing how risky it is. The people at Gloucester hope and pray that Andrea Gill gets rescued while the boys battle out the storm under Billy's captainship. The rescue helicopter ditches the mission to save Andrea Gill because they unexpectedly run out of fuel. Billy keeps his boat afloat while his crew try to prevent any fatal damage. Murphy and Bugsy get thrown overboard by the waves, but their crewmates pull them back up somehow. Billy understands that this is too much even for him, so he decides to turn back and wait out the storm. The owner of the ship informs the crew's loved ones that hope may be lost, which sets Christina into a panic. Bobby follows Billy's commands and they turn the boat around, making it until the sun comes up. The boys now know that what really matters in life and won't take their loved ones for granted just to make a bit more money. But the sea isn't done with them yet. A rogue wave overpowers the sea and the boys gather, ready to embrace their death, regretting the trauma they will give their loved ones. Billy apologizes for failing them, but they know he did everything he could. Andrea Gale sinks to the bottom of the ocean while only Bobby's head pops up on the surface. It's been days and even the search of Andrea Gale has been suspended by the rescue department. All of the Gloucester is gathered at the church to mourn the death of Billy, Bobby, Murphy, Sully, Alfred, and Bugsy. Linda speaks at their wake and their names are put on a memorial stone to commemorate the memories of all those taken by the sea. Christina and Bobby's mom are at the port remembering his smile and the love he had for them. It seems like Bobby's sentiments in his final moments somehow got to Christina. As Linda sails on her ship, she remembers Billy's passion for sailing and fishing and how he rests in the place he truly considered his home. While every eye sheds a tear for the brilliant crew of the Andrea Gale, they know deep down in their hearts that those men died doing what they loved the most. And that's it. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel to watch the latest and exclusive movie recaps. If you have any requests, thoughts, or recommendations for movie recaps, just drop them below in the comment section and we will see you at the next video. Peace out!